I know there's people here that have been to these dinners before, and there's some new folks, new faces in the room, so super excited.
Hey everybody, I'm back with another video. As I've mentioned before, we do a lot of events, some bigger, some smaller. This week we did one of our dinners where we bring in company founders and sometimes the venture capital partners that are funding them. And we have them tell us about the problems that they're trying to solve and to explain the journey, the value proposition, and what differentiates their idea within the market. We were lucky enough to have Poojan Kumar from Clumio this week. You might not have heard of Clumio yet. As you can tell from their website, they're still in stealth mode. When we look at companies, we typically look at three key things: the people, the idea, and the sales and marketing approach. The people are the first thing that stands out for Clumio. First, they're investors. Whenever Mike Spicer from Sutter Hill Ventures takes an interest in a company, we really pay attention. And they have an equally enigmatic website. This is one of the oldest VC firms in the Valley, started by legendary investor Bill Draper. And then there's Poojan, who's had a wildly successful career as founder and CEO of Pernix Data, which sold to Nutanix in 2017, and poised for more success now as CEO of Clumio. Poojan is part of that group of former Oracle leaders who've gone on to found successful companies like Dheeraj Pandey at Nutanix and Bipul Sinha of Rubrik. Now, Clumio has been on a hiring run that has drawn a lot of attention because of the caliber of talent that they have been acquiring. And while they do not have a product to show as of yet, they have been attracting top sales and marketing talent. So after Poojan gave us a brief overview of his company and its vision, the topic quickly turned to SaaS. So there's been an interesting shift in the market lately. We were talking to venture capital groups a couple years back. They were investing heavily in cloud technologies. Then they shifted their focus to companies in the DevOps space. Then after that, they were investing heavily in AI and ML companies. But the challenge has been that there haven't been enough people with the skill sets required for enterprises to move effectively in these spaces. There's been an enormous enablement gap. So what we saw after that was a shift towards investing in SaaS companies and companies that provided a lot of this enablement. And so on my most recent trip to the Valley, almost every single company I talked to was a SaaS company that was AWS based. So that shifted my perspective on how aggressive companies should pursue cloud strategies, because I think this may be an opportunity to pump the brakes a little bit on building out agile DevOps and SRE teams within your organization, and maybe take a look at what some of the SaaS-based products are that are going to be coming out in the next couple of years and see if that's going to satisfy your requirements. Because if application development isn't your company's core competency, it may be better to wait for a SaaS-based application than to develop your own. There are huge benefits to SaaS: less management headaches, easier upgrade cycles, fewer operational challenges, and it grants you the ability to focus on your core competencies rather than developing out new skill sets. But SaaS is not without its challenges. Not all SaaS companies share your availability requirements, nor do they have the same concerns for your data and how it's used. So these dinners we tend to focus on a small group of industry leaders to enable great conversations. And this dinner was no different. There was a lot of discussion about some of the hidden challenges of SaaS. For example, one of the individuals there was talking about how they were looking at SAP's SaaS-based offering, but the data protection around that product had a recovery point objective that was 1 week, which did not satisfy the requirements for this business. And these are important things to consider. Do these SaaS companies provide adequate DR? Do they have point-in-time recovery? What's the granularity of this point-in-time recovery? Can they do point-in-time recovery for you, or do they have to do it for everybody? There's a lot of other challenges, because when you start using SaaS-based products, you oftentimes end up having multiple copies of your data, because some lives in the SaaS-based application and some you need on-prem to do more comprehensive data analytics with. You also have to have a plan in case these SaaS companies fail. What do you do with these critical business functions if this company fails? Another interesting challenge that people don't always think about are the financial ones. When you make a switch from on-prem applications to SaaS-based applications, the financial model shifts. You go from a capital expenditure model to an operational expense model. For some companies, this is great. They like to put their capital into long-term fixed assets. But for a lot of other companies, this loss of capital expenditures can be a significant problem. So there are a lot of challenges you have to account for when looking at SaaS, but there are a lot of advantages as well. And there's a lot of compelling new products in the SaaS space. So hopefully this gives you some things to think about when you're considering moving from on-prem infrastructure to the cloud or to SaaS-based applications. So I would love to hear from you about some of the successes and challenges you've had in the SaaS space, and I'll see you in the next video.